Welcome everybody to the DGCL podcast on the Transition Tech AWS. My name is Jimmy. I'm going to be hosting the session today, and I want to take this opportunity to introduce the man behind the vision, Pascal. He's the CEO of DGCL platform, and he's really taken his time to build something that I think is really unique. Hopefully we can get to unpack a little bit of that in this session this morning. He's targeted a specific group, I think, whether that's directly or indirectly, but we are definitely feeling what he's doing. He's definitely making an impact. So just to give you an overview, today's session is really gonna, or this episode is gonna explore transitioning into AWS. So there's lots of different cloud services. AWS is one of them. And we're gonna look at what it takes to transition into the AWS space, what that means. Some people don't even know what cloud computing is. No idea, what AWS is. And so, we're going to kick off the discussion, I guess, with three of our panel members. And they're all at different stages in the journey. So it's going to be, I think, quite interactive, hopefully. And they're going to tell you about their transition journeys, where they're at, what they're doing. And we're going to be able to hear every one of them. I will introduce them one by one in a moment, but before I do that, I'll hand you over to Pascal, who is founder of DGCL.
Right, thank you, Jumai, and it's been a great pleasure to be here today to discuss about this, and having this session has been something that I've been craving for and looking forward to, in order to tell people out there about myself and the reason behind this journey. My name is Pascal Njoko, and currently DevOps engineer, senior DevOps engineer, and I've done solutions architect in the past, and now focusing on DevOps. It has taken me some time to also put together the platform for the training and trying to focus on people that try to switch careers into tech without no background or not knowing where to start from, no support, no mentorship. And that has helped me to, come up with some ideas with the help of people around me. And some of them are here as well, like Mr. John, and Mel, Lesson, and you as well. The discussion we've had over time to improve the platform and all of that. So for me, being part of this platform is just to give back to the community as well. And especially for people who think that they don't know what to do next, it's always good to think, okay, there's another option out there. And also tech, one of them. Nobody cares about your qualification, whether you did a computer science degree or you did masters in whatever you want to do. As long as you can speak the language, as long as you could do the learning, I feel like the learning comes first. Training, which is what DGCL is all about. So we provide a training for people to go through that training and then come out the other side, start going into the job market, break into the system, and then learn on the job. There's so much you could learn from doing the hands-on labs, doing the training, passing the exams. Those are the things that are the things you have to do with us. But on the other side, you have to go into the job market and then get the industry experience, So for me, my passion towards this is just to get people to achieve this and come to the platform and make a good career out of AWS. There are other cloud services, like you said, Azure, GCP, DigitalOcean, Alibaba, all of that, But at the moment, we are focusing on AWS, which is my core background. I can go on and on and on and on and on and on, but that's me for now.
You said something really important, like you just said what you're passionate about, and you can see like from all the merch, DGCL. Do you want to tell people what DGCL actually stands for? Because they're hearing us use that. What's the full name of the brand?
Thank you. DGCL is the parent company, how we started. So we started off Digital Group Consultancy Limited. So focusing on consultancy, then going into training, which is now Digital Cloud Academy. Because the consultancy made it look like as if we are a company doing consultancy business.
Right.
So at some point we did rebranding last year to now move into the academy part of it, because the academy part of it is what gives like end-to-end solution when people join the platform to be able to get the training, and the training comes with doing some homework. That's a complimentary service that we give for everybody who comes to join the platform, because you get the complimentary service as support with the homework. So whether you're from IT background or no IT background, you should be able to do some basic training about homework. What is IPv4? What is IPv6? Because you need to understand those things. When you now finish those assignments, you go into the other side. So we have different segments, which is the homework and the training, which lasts for 3 months to 6 months. Then you go doing project work, then you're doing other industry experience that we share. So that's why we now move it from consultancy to academy, because it gives you that end-to-end solution in the sense that you have the start to the finish. So it's an academy rather than a consultancy company. But we have plans for consultancy in the future. Because some of the people who train with us at some point will start be doing like some consultancy work in the future. So that's why we are keeping it DGCL still as the parent company or the brand name, which is here. And then going into the academy part.
Love that. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to introduce now our 3 panel members who've taken out their time to be with us this morning. I want to introduce to you with great pleasure. We call him Mr. John, because he's big kahuna and he's experienced, and he's currently an AWS lead solutions architect. Mr. John.
Hello, hello.
Hello, thank you for joining us this morning. Can you just give a brief introduction to our listeners about who you are?
Okay.
You don't have to go deep, but who you are and why you're part of this movement.
Okay, my name is John Odatu, and I'm a lead solution architect, and I work for multiple companies as an AWS solution architect, mainly in AWS. And why I'm much part of the digital, cloud movement is the world is changing. The rise of AI, the rise of the cloud is all encompassing the next generation. And if we don't jump on it, we're going to be all left behind. Now, even what we use, our phones, our social media, our apps, the websites, everything's all going on the cloud. If we don't understand the infrastructure of the cloud, we will all be left behind. So it's the beginning. It's the same thing. It's like me talking to you guys 35 years ago about the internet. And everyone sat down and said, oh, well, who cares about the internet? It's nothing. Or it could be me 45, 50 years ago talking to you about the computer. Well, no, we just keep using typewriters instead of computers. So now the next age is cloud and AI. And so this is the reason why everybody needs to jump on digital cloud. So yeah.
Nice little introduction. Next person I want to introduce on the sofa is Melanie. Melanie's here and she is a instructor for DGCL. Melanie, welcome. Please tell us a little bit
Thank you.
about you and again why you're part of this.
Yeah, I can only add to what Mr. John has been saying. So I'm a DevOps engineer and AWS based as well, although I have got a little bit of experience with GCP as well. And I like the platform that Pascal has created to get people to transition into tech, those without any prior experience and even those with, but it's mainly targeted at those that are seeking a way out and seeking a way up and, jumping that bandwagon of enlarging themselves and their outlook and their perspective and their career prospects. And the platform is a tool that gets them there. And I like his vision and I want to be part of it. And hence I jumped on board as an instructor, giving hopefully valuable advice, industry experience, and helping along the way and hopefully making the next big tech giants in the industry.
Love that.
Thanks, Mel.
Oh, I'm getting this family vibe here. It's so nice. Okay, so moving on to our next and final sofa guest. I want to introduce everyone to Blessing. And Blessing, you're a solutions architect trainee. So it sounds like you're going through the academy, maybe?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about, I guess, your experience so far, because you're on this journey now. And yeah, where you're coming from and what you've experienced so far.
So I joined the academy, I think, last summer. It was recommended by a friend. So I joined in and it's been an absolute mind opener for me. Although I'm still training, but through the platform, I've met a lot of people. I've learned a lot of things about cloud. I came in with zero knowledge. When I say I don't have any knowledge about cloud, but there is a lot to learn. There is 2 classes that goes on during the week. The Wednesday classes, I always find them very informative. There is also the Saturday classes. And the thing I like about the academy is the passion that comes from Pascal. He's running it. He's one person that he doesn't give up on you, even when you tend to give up on yourself. Aww. And every single person that is part of the platform, you see people learning, coming in from having no experience about cloud and turning into an expert cloud practitioner. And for me, even though I'm still on a journey, it's really interesting to watch and see people grow.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's held me. Sometimes I think, what am I actually doing here? Can I do this thing? Do I believe in myself? But when you hear other people's story, when you hear people saying you can do this, when you hear Pascal constantly telling me, don't give up, you can do this, and I know you can do this, it's very encouraging. So it's been an interesting journey. I'm still on it, and I'm looking forward to coming to the end of it. It doesn't matter how long it takes. I always say to Pascal, I don't know when I'm going to do this, but I can't wait to get to a place where I can tell you I actually did it. So it's been a great honor and a great privilege being part of the academy, and there's still a lot for me to learn. So hopefully the learning continues. So thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you,
Blessing,
blessing.
that's lovely. So for me, I'm going to structure the rest of the discussion now with targeted questions to each and every one of you. I'm going to start with Pascal. That doesn't mean that because it's targeted at Pascal, you can't interject, you can't contribute to an answer, because I want it to be as an interactive session as possible. And I think everyone has something to bring to the table. So Pascal, I'm going to start with you. You've already told us a little bit about, the academy and what it's here to do, but can you tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into cloud computing in the first place? Because it'd be interesting to understand why you keep focusing on this transition, because most people from African heritage like me go to school, pick your career, stay focused, you're a doctor, engineer, and whatever. How did you get to this point where transitioning was a decision that you had to make, and why?
Well, thank you. Where do I start? First of all, I didn't have any tech background, like college, university. So it was just through motivation, I would say, and also being able to move out from that comfort zone, because I come from healthcare background, which everybody knows that that's the norm for everybody that's come from African background, parents,
heritage,
and all of that. They say to you, "Oh, go and be a doctor, go and be a nurse,
lawyer,
or go
an
and
engineer,
be this and that."
accountant.
Yeah. So I said to myself, "Yeah, that's fine." I was telling Blessing earlier, she didn't realize that I did pharmacy for a year.
Wow.
Yeah, she didn't realize that. So I did it, and I saw the man putting out pills. I said to myself, "No, this is not me."
Wow.
So I moved on. And at some point, I started looking towards what next. So I went back into work, did radiography, and then all of a sudden I saw myself working like 12 hours shift and all of that. I said, no, this is not me. So I started looking at what can get me out of this place. So the option to do tech, I decided to do some self-learning because I didn't have any background. So I decided to speak to a few people who are in tech as well to understand their job roles. And some people say to me, BA, project management and all of that.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not good at doing paperwork and all the things they've said to me. So I've discovered AWS. Did the training, loved it. Hands-on part, doing the labs. There's something that I like. Okay, this is how to configure this is how this works. I could see the real practicality of it.
Right.
So I did a research on my own. Nobody recommended anything for me to go, and I just did a research on my own, found the place, paid the money. I paid £3,500.
Wow.
Yes, for the training. And it was just like a weekend training. Just, I didn't even get to see.
Let's just put a pin on that. But anyone who's looking to do this journey, £3,500 for a weekend training.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
That's a huge commitment.
And to be honest, that was the money I was meant to use to do my master's. So part of the master's.
Yeah.
So I now looked at it and said, should I go and do master's or should I pay for this?
Right.
So at some point I said, no, it doesn't make sense because this is not, I don't really need a master's for me to do my job at the moment.
Yeah.
So let me try something different. In fact, I made like 3 calls to different people to ask them, oh, what do you think if I should pay this money and do the training? What if I fail? So for them to give me that reassurance to say, go ahead and pay the money, basically. So I did.
Yeah.
So that was in 2018-19.
Yeah.
and this is where we are now.
Wow.
So it's just that,
It's a
that
huge leap of
curiosity.
faith.
Yeah.
Huge leap of faith.
Yeah, and that curiosity as well, because I didn't know what AWS means. Even when I was doing the learning, my friends were asking me, what is this? I said, I'm learning cloud AWS, but it's on doing it to where we are now. So yeah, that's the motivation.
So, moving on, how did you get from transitioning yourself, training yourself, understanding yourself, to then saying, I want to open an academy? Like, surely you would have self-actualized and got to your own targets, and now you're confident and comfortable in tech. What made you go that step further to say, I want to have academy, I want to impact other people's lives?
Oh, actually, it was just because of my own experience being there, not having like a mentor to support me through that journey.
Okay.
So remember, on our platform, we have mentorship program whereby people assign mentors to mentor them.
Yeah.
That is the key for me, because at the end of the day, I didn't get that when I was doing my training.
Okay.
So for me, I want to give back to the community. Secondly, I feel like some people want to do something, but they don't know where to start. And also, people don't have the right support and guidance.
But some would argue that you did it, you didn't have anybody, and you went out there and you sourced and you drove and you made that change for yourself. I love where you're going with this. I understand completely that you want to make it easier for people, but not everybody thinks like that.
Of course, yeah.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
The main thing is there's a transition.
Yeah.
And so the transition that Pascal would have had to go into cloud, especially now, is more competitive.
Right, okay.
The time when he was doing that, the time we were in it was probably less competitive. It's now. Every year it's getting more competitive.
Right.
And things are changing as well.
Right.
So the dynamic is changing.
Right.
Maybe 2 years ago, we were focusing on a certain aspect called control tower.
Right.
Now they're focusing on the next 2 years, focusing on AI.
Yeah.
Now the next thing might be on containerization with AI. I'm talking a bit technical, but what I'm trying to say is things change. If you don't have that mentor to guide you, it could be a bigger issue now than probably 8 years ago, because 8 years ago everything was new, so you had opportunities to slip and build yourself back up. But now, if you don't have that mentor, you don't have that guidance, that slip can cost you because someone else will jump in.
Right.
Because everybody now, because you get more exposed, and it's like footballers. 35 years ago, you try and tell, especially with an African family, you want to become a footballer, they'll have slapped your face.
You still get slapped now, mate.
No, if you're a 6-year-old boy and you tell your Nigerian dad you want to be a footballer, he's going to try and talk you about Project Mbappe and try and make you a footballer. But now every kid all over the world that was trying to be a footballer, and now you can't slip up. You need a guidance. Whereas 35 years ago, if you worked hard, you played good as a footballer, it must have been easier because no one was really doing it. But now every child, every boy, their dad and their mom want them to be a footballer because of the exposure. Yeah. So now more than ever, and moving forward, you need that guidance.
That's true. Yeah, because some people. I was dealing with a situation yesterday. The guy was saying to me, the mentor hasn't reached out to him. I said, no, it's your responsibility to reach out to your mentor, not the other way around. So you're the mentee. You're supposed to reach out to your mentor. Because you can't sit down and say, my mentor should call me to. No. We've provided everything that you need on the academy platform, your homework, your training materials, the system records, every classes. Some of those that are working full-time job, you can pick up the videos and watch them all over again and again and again and get the knowledge you need. So So the thing is, just like the mentorship support is one of the things that I feel like help people as well from
Yeah.
this platform. And if we don't have a platform,
Yeah.
like a community,
Yeah.
like Blessing said, the Wednesday meeting,
Yeah.
that every Wednesday of my life is that platform. I haven't missed it.
Yeah.
The Saturday classes, the live classes, we have instructors like Mel,
Yeah.
Jez, Mark,
Yeah.
Nick, all of those people.
Yeah.
But the Wednesday one is something that I want to see and relate to people rather than, oh, maybe Mel handle it. Because some people relate with you
Yeah.
who they feel like they can see and speak to
Yeah.
and share any concern. And every week is different. We
Right.
give them different things to do.
Right.
Sometimes we give students to come and present to students.
Yeah.
Because they have to connect with each other as well.
Yeah.
And there's a motivation to each other because that's a community. And when people pass like certification exam, we broadcast it to say
Right.
this person have passed. It's a motivation. People pick motivation from that.
So I'm getting a vibe that it's like a collective learning platform as well. So you have an online academy
Yeah.
where lessons are delivered.
Yeah.
Then you also have that platform for people who miss classes to go and watch them later on because it's done via video remotely.
Yeah.
And then you have homework and labs that are also accessed on that same platform.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting a clear picture of what the academy is. And then that is backed by mentorship.
Yes.
So everyone who enrolls on the program has access to a mentor.
Yes. You have at least 2 to 3 mentors if you join the platform. But I'm the head mentor, so everybody reports to me.
Yeah.
And there's something that we do as well. We switch mentors. If a mentee is not happy with the mentors, we assign to them. We've had a few people, they say, oh, I wasn't, feeling it with my mentor. So I said, okay, cool. We need to switch it around. Do you prefer somebody else? And how the mentorship works is, when you start with us, first 1 month, 3 months. So the first 1 month, 3 months, we expect you to do the first certification, which is the cloud practitioner.
Okay.
So if you pass that exam, you're automatically qualified as a mentor.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So you take on the responsibility as a mentor to mentor those people behind you.
That's a nice little ecosystem.
Yes.
So you pass and then you give back.
Yes.
You pass and then you give back.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it has worked really well because think about it. I cannot handle 107. We have about 170 people on the platform at the moment.
No, that's impossible.
So that chain of reaction will be, okay, you're a mentor. You help to mentor somebody.
Yeah.
So that support you've been getting from somebody, you will give it to somebody else. So some of the people who are not doing well during the time of that transitioning mentorship and all of that, they try to do better. And sometimes if you don't know the question or whatever your mentee wants to discuss with you, we advise you to send them like meeting agenda ahead in advance. So that your mentor wouldn't give you wrong information because not everybody don't know everything.
Absolutely.
So what we need to do is maybe the mentor will do some research based on before the meeting. So everybody on the platform gets 1 hour once a week with their mentors.
Impressive.
So that's how and you book it, however you make the arrangement, and we get the admin people that sort all of that out.
That's very impressive. Thank you, Pascal.
That's okay.
So I guess that kind of has taken us into my next question, which was how has the academy evolved and the milestones? So I'm not going to ask that question because I feel like I'm getting a feel already of the journey of how you started where you are, and how you're delivering the service now. But can you walk us through your approach to training and education? Because you said something critical there, that sometimes it's not a good fit when you have one mentor and then you review and then you try and look at somebody else that might be able to support that individual more holistically. And I guess what else? I mean, I've already heard some things that I think, because I've been through a few online learning packages and experiences myself. I'm already hearing some things that make your service different. But for the benefit of people who are watching, what makes PGCL stand out?
It's quite a lot.
What's your USP?
Yeah, okay. So to start with, we have live instructors. So we have
not video recorded.
not video recorded classes that somebody will say, go and watch
Go
this.
watch.
and
So
this,
not the Udemy's,
Yes.
not the
No.
yeah. Okay.
But we kind of use that to support people's learning though,
Okay.
because some people will still not get 100% even on the live classes.
Right.
So we give them that external LMS support
Okay.
via our Udemy business account.
Right.
So everybody will get subscription from us. That's for free.
Okay.
So you don't have to pay for it.
Okay.
So, but that will support people's learning. And that's when it comes to like the exam success rate is quite high now.
Yeah.
Because we have that cheat sheet, exam practice. We have about 500 bank of questions for cloud practitioner.
Cheat sheet. I want to hear about
Yeah.
that. Bless and tell me what's a cheat sheet.
So all of that will be there. Then you have the access to that Udemy account that we have with the Udemy
Right.
business.
Okay.
And then you can now do it on your own at your own time. But it doesn't stop the live classes.
Okay.
Then that's one point. Secondly, the Wednesday, we call it knowledge sharing.
Yeah.
So people come in. In fact, we're now doing 2 different sessions on a Wednesday. We're doing the first one 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Then we have one from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. That is for the industry experience.
Wow.
So that's, if you pass your exam, you now enrolled on the industry experience
Okay.
platform. Then that's when you start doing the job readiness.
Oh, fantastic.
So that's when you do the project work. We invite people from the industry like recruiters, HR people.
Wow.
They give that support and give you that information about what is happening in the industry.
Wow.
So, and that has been a big feedback.
Yeah.
Because some people don't even, it's not all about the technical things.
Yeah.
There are some soft skills that people need to get.
Absolutely.
How to answer interview questions, how to
Absolutely.
introduce yourself, the things you need to do, the things you don't have to do during the interviews. All of those things, we cover those during the industry experience. So I think there's quite a lot on the platform.
Yeah, I'm hearing that already.
And hands-on labs, automatically you do the labs for like a month after passing your exam.
Yeah.
That's like 30 labs.
Right.
So we expect you to finish that in 30 days.
Wow.
So you finish that, then you start doing project work.
Right.
And doing industry experience.
Right.
And then that's it.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Any of my couch members want to contribute to what Pascal has said?
Yeah, I could add into the mentorship. I think it's a great motivation, and it's one thing that helps people to stay focused as well. And for myself, for example, I feel like with my mentor, I watched her and I saw her story, and I can see where she is at the moment. And every time I think about her journey, her struggles, and how she got to where she is, not giving up and constantly willing to try, it's just something I have at the back of my mind. And I have to keep reminding myself, if she can do it, yes, you can. So I think it's a great motivation for a lot of people. And it's also giving back from former students and other professionals, knowing that you can go to them, you can bring any questions. If you're not sure, you can speak to them. I think it's a great knowledge sharing as well.
Yeah. So it's coming back to that whole community learning experience and creating that environment where people can exchange and feel supported. Really amazing. So the final thing for you then, Pascal, anyone who's listening to this and they want to get involved, how can they reach out and become part of this community and this platform?
We have different channels that people use to reach out. In fact, I think nobody on the platform don't have my number to start with. So everybody have that number, and people refer people via, they want to speak to people rather than Instagram and
Right.
all of that.
Right.
So Instagram is there, which is DGCL, Digital Cloud Academy UK on the Instagram page. Then our website, www.dgclgroup.com. Then we have different admin teams, people doing admin, they can reach out. But mainly, some people coming through like referrals and that.
Right.
But it's because of the learning experience, because all of these people have gained one pleasant experience or the other that made them to refer people to us.
Right.
And that has been the journey so far.
Okay.
But we are trying with the social media as well. But that is some.
So word of mouth has been your greatest referral rate?
Yeah. Somebody contacted me. She signed up in December or January. She said she has been looking for a place. She's in tech, but she wants to upskill.
Right.
She's been looking for AWS, but they gave her these Udemy accounts, online courses to watch from work to upskill herself.
Yeah.
So she's been struggling because she said there's no motivation. She will on the video, she will watch it and she will just slip off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right.
So somebody gave us, she said, I just want to speak to somebody because she has been seeing a lot of advert online.
Right.
But she didn't feel connected
Right.
to give them her money.
Yeah.
And one thing we've started doing now is we are now launching, that's the project I'm working on now, our YouTube channel. So all of the hands-on labs are now going to be on the YouTube channel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're trying to do is get people to go on YouTube at any given time to watch those labs because it's been pre-recorded and they can have access to it. They don't even need to be on the Academy platform to do
access that information.
No, you could just type in on YouTube and just say Digital Cloud Academy UK YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You will see the labs. So we have series of how to create AWS account, user, root account. What else do we have there? How to create MFA billing budget. All of those are live now.
Yeah.
But we are still working on the rest of the AWS services to put them as a recorded videos that people can watch on YouTube channel.
That's applaudable. I love the fact that you're just consistently and continually putting information out there and opening up for people.
Yeah.
So I guess at the end of this, we're probably going to put something up for people who are watching the podcast with the links to...
links to go on that, yeah.
Okay, great. That's fantastic.
And also, I feel like I don't want people to come to the platform and feel like they are not making good use of the resources out there. So I don't want resources to be that excuse.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? I feel like the resources are there, but the support is there. So you just have to do it.
Yeah.
And it's doable. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's it for Pascal. We're going to move over to the main man himself, Mr. John.
Hello.
Hello. Right. I want you to tell me, because you've spoken a little bit when you interjected before, where do you see the AWS ecosystem going? Yeah. In the future?
Well, it's very interesting because the cloud and AWS, as I said earlier on, is going to expand. It's only going to get bigger. It's like asking, where's the internet going to be in, like I said, in 3 years' time?
Right.
You know it's going to be big. And the forerunner of the cloud at the moment now is AWS. Getting an AWS certificate apparently is the number one IT certificate in the world at the moment.
Really?
Yes.
Well, for those who, again, have no clue what AWS is, what does AWS stand for?
Amazon Web Services.
So it's owned by Amazon.
Absolutely.
We all know Amazon. Everybody know Amazon. So Amazon Web Services, and you're saying, it makes sense that they're probably the biggest.
And it's the number one IT certificate you can get in the world.
Wow.
And it pays the highest.
What age can someone start?
18. If you can start younger, but 18 obviously. Really,
so someone can literally come out of college,
get
an AWS certificate, and be qualified to start earning good money on the cloud.
Absolutely.
Wow. So this bounces back to what you were saying before about you don't have to go and get a degree, you don't have to do your student loan, you don't have to. You can
incur
incur all that debt to then say, oh yeah, I want to transition.
Yeah.
You spoke about where the internet was 10, 20 years ago.
30 years ago, yeah.
30 years ago, beg your pardon. And where it is now. Do you honestly believe that, and we've seen it, you mentioned some of the technologies, the way that we've adapted our lives, our phones, our everything like that. So what you're basically saying is that everything we do now, today, is on the cloud.
Will start to be moving to the cloud. If it's not, it's going to. Every company or majority of big Fortune 500 companies or the top 1,000 companies in the world at the moment now is transitioning to the cloud. They need AWS solution architects and DevOps to manage that infrastructure and maintain it so it can go on the cloud. Even, I'm sure you're on TikTok or you're even on Facebook, all that information, Netflix, everything's on the cloud.
But when you say on the cloud, and I'm sorry now, I'm being a red herring here, because a lot of people who are watching this haven't got a clue. What does it mean? Because I'm just thinking, what, you mean just some cloud in the sky? Like, what is the cloud? It just, like all the science fiction movies that we watch and say, oh, it's in the cloud. Oh, it's in the... What does it mean? It sounds like some Neo stuff.
So I remember before you had everything on servers. The companies used to have servers where all the IT infrastructure used to be on a server. A big building where you had all the plugs and everything inside.
Yeah.
So every company had to have that before they could actually work. Okay. Now companies don't have to have that no more. It now gets put on the cloud, which means they don't have to have a server. They don't have to put all your data, your storage, your network into one massive building where all your information is stored. It now can all be stored on the virtually, correct? Virtually. Yes.
One of the services called EC2 Instance is a virtual web server that you could use to host your application. And that means that companies would not necessarily manage the infrastructure. They can demand for services. Say, okay, I want a virtual server. Spin up EC2 Instance, you host your application. But again, that comes with the shared responsibility model between Amazon and customer. So somebody's managing this side, somebody's managing that side.
And I can understand, because Pascal's talking as a DevOps. So someone that just heard what Pascal said,
it's like French.
It would have been like with French.
Yeah.
So what he's saying is that instead of having a server in the building where you put all your plugs, you now have it virtually.
Right.
Okay. And then virtually, so all the parts you have how it goes in, how it comes out, how you store your data in the server. Now this is now virtual.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have a responsibility between you and it could be AWS or any other virtual supplier, cloud supplier, to now manage and secure the information that comes in and how it's going to be encrypted when it comes in and out. That is the whole knowledge of cloud. This is what you're learning, this is what they're teaching them,
So let me try and break this down for the everyday person. A couple, maybe 2 decades ago, if I wanted to do my banking, I walk into the bank and I can either withdraw money from the counter or write you a check.
No, you're looking at the customer. Look, if you're a business, if you're a bank itself, the bank itself. Now, if they have 12,000 customers, or let's say 2 million customers, all the information of the 2 million customers, where does that get stored?
A filing cabinet somewhere in the different branches.
Different branches, but it will be digitally on the server, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so they have to get hard drive and a machine to save everybody, like you have your desktop, you have a machine and a desktop.
Yeah.
So imagine one of those servers, but you have to have hundreds of thousands because it's going to be 12 million customers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, instead of having that now, that's what they call on-prem, on-premises.
On-prem.
Yes, on-premises. Now you move it to the cloud, so you don't have that. You have to pay. Remember, you have to pay for
The rack,
the
cooling
information,
system.
the cooling system, the security. Someone has to maintain it. You got the amount of money, the building cost.
The building cost.
So now you save all that money because now everything's on the cloud.
And can I also interject that when we are saying we don't have that underlying infrastructure that we have to manage anymore with the cloud, and it all becomes now digital and virtual, let's not forget that the servers still exist. It's just not in our responsibility. The servers just exist in a data center that is being managed by those cloud
AWS?
Cloud infrastructure providers. Yes, of all the ones that we've mentioned before. So there are servers. They are just not our responsibility. They're the responsibility of the cloud provider.
So
it still gets stored in a server. It still has got the hard drive.
The hassle off.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's not your bank, so it's not your bank. So look at it from the bank.
Yeah.
It's not yours no more.
Yeah.
In regards to your responsibility, like you said, to manage and the infrastructure. You have a shared responsibility of AWS, or there's another one called GCP, and there's other different ones as well, which Azure, which is Microsoft.
Yeah.
Okay, they now help manage the servers and the cloud. But this is what we call it is the cloud, because it's a shared responsibility with now for example, not NatWest Bank.
Yeah.
It could be Netflix. It could be Royal Bank of Scotland. It could be a shared responsibility within the AWS server, but we call it now the cloud. Yeah.
I love that. That makes sense. That would hopefully help those of you out there who are just thinking, what language are they speaking? Okay, this is good. We're making progress. So, why do you think then, John, it's relevant for people to acquire this AWS cloud computing skill?
Because it's going to take over. And that's why I gave that example. So for the everyday listener, it's like 30 years ago, you asked me, why is it everyone should know about the internet? You could never imagine someone went back in time and someone asked that question. You'd be like, yeah, you better know about the internet. What are you doing? Same thing like now. And then one of the things that have come out from the cloud is AI. Now think about it. How will AI answer your questions? If you ask a question, if you go to ChatGPT and you ask a question, do you think that information is going to be there straight away? It has to be stored somewhere. It has to be processed somewhere. It has to be sent through somewhere. It has to go. And the more it learns, the more the model gets trained, the more it understands. Where is it going to understand? It has to be part of a center. It's all going to be on the cloud.
Wow.
And that's why you need to make sure.
Because there's lots of dialogue and discussions now going about machine learning and AI and how they're going to basically get rid of, they take over our jobs. But in actual fact, what you're saying is true. That we transact, we do business, our health records, our bank records, everything that we do is in that cloud. And that's data.
Exactly.
And that data has to be stored and processed.
Yes.
And so AI, I guess, gave birth to that whole...
Cloud gave birth to...
Cloud gave birth to that whole AI thing, machine learning.
If you look at AWS, there's a service called AWS SageMaker.
Yeah.
It's a machine learning tool that helps with maybe when you have data, modeling of the data. So when it comes to data analysis and data engineering, it uses also AWS.
Yeah.
So like your data from the source will probably come from somewhere.
Yeah.
So like the way we do transaction with the bank.
Yeah.
So credit card, all of those information.
Yeah.
So store in S3 bucket.
Yeah.
You use another service in AWS again that will get the data from the S3 bucket.
Yeah.
It's called AWS Glue. This is technical a bit.
ETL.
So what it will do is extract, transform, and load.
Wow.
ETL.
So ETL process. So those data stores in S3 bucket, which is a storage service in AWS, will now get extracted with the glue, show you the information that you've already stored in the bucket,
Yeah.
then extract it. That's the extraction process.
Yeah.
Then you could transform that data
Yeah.
if they come in like CSV files. Yeah.
Yeah.
You could say change it to PDF. You could say change
Excel.
it to Dockers or change it to whatever,
Yeah.
depending on how they need it to use for the project or whatever. Then you can now load it to somewhere,
Yeah.
which is Athena or SageMaker,
Yeah.
to now analyze the data. So when you analyze the data, then you now use the data for whatever reason you want to use it.
And data is the new commodity now.
Yep,
Isn't it?
data is one thing.
Everybody uses data.
Of data, but now you can extract, transform, like you said, and load data through the cloud.
Yeah.
And the quicker you can do it, the faster you do it, and the more complicated you can get information to now make
manipulate.
it easy to validate the information. This is what everybody wants at the moment now. Every big organization. So it's like to say, to answer your question, 30 years ago, if someone said to you, why should everyone use the internet? And you say every business is, I remember that question for years ago. Every business will be on the internet, and someone laughed at people.
We've seen it though. Look at what lockdown did to the high street.
Yes.
A lot of people just
Lockdown.
lost their business. because of that.
Absolutely
Collapsed.
validated what
Yes.
you just said. It collapsed the high street, the retail sector went into pop because everybody was buying online.
Yeah.
It was cheaper, more efficient, faster. I had greater selection of products. And I think the consumer confidence just grew.
I call that the boom of cloud. Every cloud industry from lockdown zoomed. So think about Zoom. Zoom. It quadrupled its profits. Netflix actually uses AWS.
Yeah.
Really?
They do. Yeah,
Yes.
they do use AWS, yes.
Quadrupled its profits. Every single cloud organization through lockdown boomed. But do you remember? So it didn't just start from cloud.
Yeah.
It started from the internet, where everyone said every organization will have to have a website.
Yeah.
And I remember 3 years ago, everyone laughed. No, who's going to go online and buy products? Do you remember eBay?
Yes.
Everyone used to say, who was going to trust somebody to buy someone and send
halfway
over
across the world.
halfway across the world.
Yeah.
So now everyone's sharing their data and restoring it into different data centers, like with AWS, Azure, which is Microsoft,
Yeah.
and Google as well, GCP. So this, for everyone needs to be part of this. I don't care if you're a medical doctor, engineer, lawyer. If you are not part of this, you're going to be left behind.
Yeah.
And this is the main thing happening in the world at the moment now. Yeah.
So, people who have a career and who are, what I say, on a path, they would even need these skill sets to help them manipulate and navigate the changes that this technology is bringing into the.
Yeah, there's a thing people say, that these technologies are not going to take your job, but they're going to make people who use it take your job.
Ooh, I like that.
so
I like that.
So don't look at I don't want AI, I don't want AWS, these things are bad. No,
Yeah.
just do that. These are going to be the tools that are going to haunt you.
Yeah.
For example, if you're using these tools to load your, to process your data fast, or understand how to store your data, or how to keep it. If I want to start a business and I need to have information on my clients and I want them to use my website, but I use AWS because it will process it faster, I can store easier, or do I buy my data processor in my own center, store a storage building, start getting all the hardware, get the cooling system, get a security guard. That's what I used to do before. 30 years ago, that's what everyone had to do.
Yeah.
So now it's changing. Now we're doing AI, which most people want to use AI now on top of what you need to do. Companies are using private AI, artificial intelligence for their own, like you said, AWS SageMaker for their own industries.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to have their own private GPT for their own organizations.
Wow.
And then we're going to sit here and we're all going to ignore this.
I'm coming from a business consultancy background, service delivery and stuff like that. That's what I used to do. And more now, client base is diminishing because they don't need your expertise. Your expertise is outdated. That's the fact. It's a painful fact for me to swallow. But listening to you talk now, you can see how the ecosystem has just reshifted the skill set that's required in the employment market. And it's not even just about the employment market, it's about everyday life.
Yes. Because one of my projects we're doing is to build different private chat GPTs for the organization, internal.
Right.
Now, AWS, SageMaker, machine learning, Bedrock, these are just names for AWS, different resources of AWS, is key for us to build it. So if you know the digital cloud atmosphere, you can actually work with AI and be part of it rather than fighting AI and say, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
So now with AI advances, you advance. So AI's not going to take your job no more.
Yeah.
You're now going to take, I use my AI to take your job now because even though I don't know your industry, but I like to build a model, a solution that will now help answer my questions before it comes to you.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, bringing this back home now, would you recommend DGCL, Cloud Academy to people who are seeking to get into it?
Of course, and it's a no-brainer.
Okay.
As I was saying now, anybody that wants to be involved with cloud needs to jump on now. If you pay $3,500, pay $3,500. But it's better to pay that money now than be forced to pay 10, 15 grand in the next few years because you're behind.
Wow.
So 100%, of course, yes.
Yeah. Powerful. I remember people were talking to me about AWS like in 2000, and it was like, it was £7,500. What? I get my MBA. I don't need any. What do you want to tell me? But I must be honest. I have a certain sense of regret for not pursuing that field. Because she was saying to me, then there's 18-year-olds who are working for HMRC and they're making £250 a day, like at 18 years old. And that was like in 2000. So it's interesting. What advice would you give then to people who are suffering from imposter syndrome? Because with every transition, there is this period of time where you think, I really know it. Am I ready? Can I really add value to the organization I'm working with? Like, it's one thing to pass exam. And if you come from a culture with parents who are from diaspora, especially African, there's this cram mentality where we learn and we cram, but do we really understand? And then you start panicking and thinking, okay, now I'm in the workplace, can I really do this?
Okay.
Imposter syndrome.
Now, number one, my advice to anyone that has that is, this is a new industry.
Yeah.
Everybody's learning it. Yeah, every day, every month, every 2 months, every 6 months, there's a new thing.
New releases.
Example, like I said, AI. Most people don't know what AI is. Well, even now, when I told you we're doing everyone's looking at each other. We're learning as we go because it's a new thing. Control tower, you said control 2 years ago. People looking at each other as well because they want. If you talk about containerization 5 years ago, people were looking at each other because it's new. Right. So what you need to understand, this is a new industry that you're learning as well. Right. So don't feel because I'm not experienced or I don't know as much as the next person.
Yeah.
Today, that person that knows more than you, tomorrow might come to you and ask you, what is machine learning, because all they were doing was just do EC2.
Right.
You know, so don't feel that. Just keep always learning.
Yeah.
If someone have a mentor, just keep working with your mentor.
Yeah.
Keep getting guidance, but don't ever feel that someone always knows. Technology is not like that. Technology is not. Imagine the fastest. Think about, this is what I'm asking to somebody. Imagine 50 years ago, the fastest typewriter person was typing, and you walked in and said, "I don't know how to do a typewriter," but you know how to use a word processor, the computer.
Yeah.
You would have thought if you had that mentality of imposter, oh my God, I don't know how to. I'm not a typewriter. I don't know how to push it in and then slide it to the end and type it again and get the piece and then to use Tipex. I don't know how to do that no more. Oh my God! But you know how to use the word processor.
Yeah.
As you carry on doing it, that person at the typewriter will ask you now, how do you do that? So don't feel because you don't know as much or you're like that. No, just keep learning. Because technology is always going to change.
Yeah.
And by the time you're all going to be the same level playing field.
Yeah.
So not always feel that way. Don't let anyone make you feel that way as well.
Yeah.
And then if you're talking about that, people from the diaspora, Nigerians, you tell them it's engineering. So it's just, what we do is engineering.
It's engineering.
Yeah, it's engineering.
Yeah, engineering.
You're an engineer. That's what you're an engineer. You're a computer engineer. That's it.
That will make mommy and daddy happy.
So to add to what Mr. John said, some people also don't believe in themselves.
Yeah.
When they pass that first exam, to be able to do that transitioning journey.
Yeah.
So we do the job readiness. Somebody passed the exam this morning. He woke me up like around 4 a.m. Sent me a message about
4 a.m.
Yeah, he passed. I think he did it at midnight. He sent me a message. So I said to him, now you need to start, doing transitioning into the job. Right. He said to me, I'm not ready. I said, what do you mean you're not ready? So he thinks that maybe he will have to learn everything. Yeah, it's good to get all the experience you have to get.
Yeah.
But until you get into the job itself, then you start making adjustment.
Right.
To see what you know already and the gap in your knowledge or your skill set.
Mm-hmm.
To see how you can close that gap. Yeah.
Mr. John, you said that you're a solutions architect.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? And I can sense from speaking to some of the people on the panel, because I know Mel, you said you're
DevOps, yeah.
I'll ask you what that means in a bit as well. But does it mean that there are different career pathways?
Yeah.
So what you're offering on your platform is just the first level?
No, we are offering the training that gets you to decide which pathway you want to go into.
Okay.
So you do the training, which is cloud practitioner, cloud training. Then you could decide, okay, after my training, I could go into solutions architect.
Okay.
DevOps. Now we are onboarding. We've already onboarded cybersecurity.
All right. So that's all still
all
part of
the
cloud.
Yeah. So you can move into different categories of the cloud, because I work with some services that has to do with security, with cloud, which is AWS WAF and Shield.
Right.
So if you want to go into specialty like cybersecurity, those are the domains of security services in AWS that you can focus on when you're on the job as well.
Can I explain it to you in what somebody that has no idea about
layman's language?
So
hit me with it.
You're going to build a house.
Yeah.
I'm an architect that will tell you what design the house for you.
Oh.
How you want the house to be. So you might say, I might want the house because you want it's in the middle of Oshodi and you want to protect it from armed robbers.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be in Bel Air and you don't need it to be completely secure.
Yeah.
You need to tell me what you need. You want to show off. You want it to be 3 floors. You want it to be 2 floors.
Yeah.
You don't want extra locks. You just want 1 lock.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, you tell me. So I will design it for you how it looks. Yeah. That's my role as a solution architect. Then DevOps, they will implement it. So they implement. So they'll come in.
She's my engineer that will build.
Engineer. So engineer. Everything's engineer. Remember?
Engineer.
Yeah. So DevOps work with me
Yeah.
and the builders as well.
Yeah.
So she will implement it, work with the builders, with the hat. The builders are the developers.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So the people in laying the lab, the developers, but she will now come in and make sure it's the right size, the
We need
laminated
to
floors.
here. We need double support.
We need to double
here.
there. And obviously I will liaise with the solution architect as well, because we'll say, this is how I designed it. It's not like that, and we liaise. And then, for example, you talk about cybersecurity. Now, the cybersecurity might be ensure that we need the extra locks in here. We might need the door, the balcony needs to be this kind of particular ring. We might have to have double
Front
frame.
cable for camera here.
Yeah, front cable for
cable
exactly front cable. So that will be the cybersecurity. So that's how, if you want to take it as a building, so that's what we do for the cloud,
Okay.
for the servers, but I say virtual servers,
Yes.
and the environment we have within that. So that's what it's like, yeah.
That's amazing. So your platform helps people to, first of all, get onto, you said, the baseline accreditation, which is the
Cloud practitioner.
Cloud
CCP, yeah.
CCP.
Yeah.
And then from then on, you will guide your students onto a pathway into which career fits them. That's cool. Okay, I'm getting a real holistic understanding here. So, final question for you now, Mr. John. As an AWS lead solutions architect, what is the salary range for AWS solutions architect and DevOps?
Mel's looking at me.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I've been online and I've looked at some of these jobs and I'm just like, are they for real?
So are we talking about contract or non-contract?
Okay, so tell us the difference, because like we don't know, but I've seen some things that say something like £400-500 a day.
Okay, so let me break it down. So we have contractors.
Yeah.
Contractors means it's not a permanent role.
Yeah.
So they can get rid of you anytime. Okay.
There's no security.
No security in the job, and you have permanent. Okay. There's a lot for DevOps. I think there's more contracting.
Right.
The DevOps roles than solution architect, because
Yeah.
DevOps. Remember, you're laminating the floor. You go to the next part. You're doing another building. So,
right, yeah.
when you're doing the architecture, like I
Yeah.
said, you might need to spend more time with the stakeholders, so they want to be closer to you
Right.
most of the time. So but there's more contracting roles.
Right.
So for DevOps and solution architect, it can be anywhere between £300 to £1,000 a day.
You say what?
300
A day.
a day. Yeah.
Hello.
But the problem is no job security, meaning if they want to sack you, they can sack you tomorrow.
But for £1,000 a day, fam, I'll just do 5 days with you. I'm all right. Hello. Wow.
And you come back again.
No, do you know this is mind blowing? Because we look at careers that people spend years to attain, like doctors, consultants, and whatever.
Yeah.
Doctors start on less than 30k, don't they?
Yeah.
And
They
then
start as a junior doctor.
you start as a junior. and you
It's 28k.
28k.
Yeah.
For a doctor.
Yeah, junior doctor.
Highly respected medical doctor.
And then some of them get up to 80, 90 after
As a
10.
consultant.
Consultant, yeah, as a
So
consultant.
even as a consultant, we're still like
More
benching
money.
under 100 grand.
Yeah. So that's contracted. Now, permanent roles, because remember, permanent role means they have to keep you even if they don't need you. They're still going to pay you, yeah?
Really?
Permanent roles, yeah?
Permanent.
Now, if you get a permanent role, it could be anywhere between 40
Okay.
to 140. Okay. Yeah, £140,000, yes.
Are you people hearing? Are you hearing?
Nah, but we didn't stop there. If you get a permanent role, so remember, if you get a contract role, they say it's 300 to £1,000 a day, that's contract. But if you get permanent, when I say stuff from 40 to 140, but a lot of those jobs, you get perks. For example, free healthcare, okay, free life
Private
insurance.
health.
Private,
Yeah,
yes.
private, yeah.
Private,
Go to
yeah.
the NHS now.
You don't go, you got Bupa or stuff.
Yeah, all of that one.
Life insurance. Sure, if something happens to you, they pay you life insurance out. They contribute to like massive your pension.
And some people get official car, Teslas,
Ooh.
like him.
Ooh. Mr.
Not
John.
saying that.
Mr. John.
You get like a car worth 100k sometimes, you know.
Not saying that.
That's a benefit.
That's the
So you're senior. So is that a benefit for seniors?
in our company, as long as you get the job.
Yeah, that's why their company do
Yeah.
this. They don't do
Seniors, but obviously, senior means that I'm not earning 40k or 50
Yeah.
or 60
But the
or
perks
70.
comes across the board.
You see, when right up to 70, and he's still not past
Oh, and it's,
Mom!
it's still more than that. But those are permanent roles, and they keep you there. Even if obviously, because they want to make sure every project they don't need to employ a new one.
Yeah.
So it's like they have you there all the time. So there might be no project, you're still getting paid the money, and then the project comes. You're there. So it's perks on both sides.
My seat. I'm feeling fence all of a sudden.
There's perks on both sides. So contracting might, because sometimes you get contracted £700 a day.
Right.
Yeah.
But somebody might be a solution architect earning 70k.
Right.
But that 70k person is knows he's getting that pay with his car, with his service insurance, with everything paid for. 50. But no one that's not getting his car, but is getting £700 a day. So it's pros and cons. Contracting,
Wow,
yeah.
that's mind blowing. Because I used to see them like when I'm just going through doing job searches, I'm thinking, yeah, right. And then they have this thing where they say inside IR 35,
Yeah, that's another.
outside IR 35.
So that
What
means.
does that mean?
So that means if you're outside IR 35, if you're getting £700 a day, they're giving you £700 a day. Like boom,
Sort
it's
out
not,
your
no
taxes.
taxes. Here you go, boom. So.
And if you have a good accountant,
But inside, what they do, they help you do your PAYE,
right.
Yeah.
and then they'll take it off before they give it to you.
They give it to you, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You go through another company. that
Umbrella
calls
company.
Umbrella
An
company.
umbrella company.
So umbrella
Company,
company
yeah.
will be the people the middleman.
Right.
So they collect the money, they take their bit, and they take their bit, they'll give you whatever that is left. Yeah. But you have like a agreement on what to take.
You're making this money legal.
And this is but the thing is, like I said, it's like footballers. 35 years ago, try and tell your African parents, especially here in the UK,
Yeah.
you want to be a footballer, you would have got slapped in the face.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
But now, tell your dad you want to be a footballer, who's already bought your football shoes. Because
I take you every Friday.
It's like a Friday,
Every Saturday, yeah.
because they know. So the same thing now, the cloud, and this is what I was saying. Now you need your mentor, you need a guide, or compared to before where we didn't need that.
Yeah.
Because you had opportunity everywhere else. So that's why it's focus on having a mentor, be part of academy. Yeah.
This, you see how this has gingered me? Like it's made me sit up. Like it just brought the volume into the conversation. I'm just like, yeah, this makes sense. Okay. Well, that's it from you, Mr. John. Thank you. But please feel free to contribute to the rest of the questions that we're gonna hit to our panelists. Mel, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, so my first one for you is, as an AWS Cloud Training Instructor, would you say that DGCL, Digital Cloud Academy, has a curriculum that meets industry standards?
Yes, so as I was saying in my introduction, I saw the product, I saw the vision, and it made sense, as it makes sense for all of us here right now. What Pascal is trying to achieve, and to help people getting on that bandwagon and progress into tech, because like Mr. John is saying, you'd be left behind if you didn't. And does the cloud platform that he provide comply with the standards and with what we need? Yeah, absolutely.
As an instructor that's delivering to people, what's the best thing for you in terms of the platform? Like, what's your best experience?
So I want to say it's what we've mentioned before. It's a community-based kind of service where everyone is supporting everybody. And yes, you do have your named mentors, but you can reach out to other students on the platform. You can just share your experiences and your thought processes, and you will never be left alone.
Yeah.
And that helps with growing. You're not feeling like you're left behind or anything. And yes, we need that hand-holding when we're learning new things. We need that encouragement, because there's a lot of people that are jumping on teaching, online teaching programs, and they drop off because they don't have that support and they start things. I know people that have started training courses, 3, 4, 5 training courses online. They may have finished it, but have they done anything with it? No, because they don't know where to go. They don't know who to ask. You know, it's something. You need that support network. You need the people that are in it and that have been through it, and you need the people that are in the industry giving you the advice on what these services do, how they are linked up, and how that can help you make a decision based on your character as well. Go forward. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, that's lovely. I want to ask you, so we said it before, you are Mr. John's a solutions architect, you are a DevOps.
DevOps, yes.
Can you tell us, the layman, what that means? And more importantly, what a typical day is like for you as a DevOps engineer?
Okay, yeah, so I like your analogy. So I'm not going to divert from that. All I can add is, yes, we are building the infrastructure that is required for the company to run their services on. So the companies are building their applications, or their websites, and they need that to run in the cloud. And a DevOps engineer provides the infrastructure that these services or these applications run on. We may have to do a little bit with the application as well to make that application suitable for the cloud environment. So, because sometimes you've got updates, PHP versions, or even instance versions, or when you want to upgrade from an 86 server to a Graviton instance, for example, and you need to make sure that your application will run afterwards and that it supports each other. So we are the engineers that are looking at compatibility and are looking at, like you said, instance sizes and flow of traffic and diverting the flow of traffic so that these applications are accessible 100%. Although the guarantee we normally give is 99.9999999%. You can never get,
Is that an industry standard?
Absolutely.
No.
Yes.
We all know. If you're an AWS and you don't know the answer, that means that's just a sign. If someone said that AWS and they don't say what she said, that person's not AWS.
So you can say 100%.
If you said that, and funny enough, they did ask me that at work. The stakeholders, can you 100% guarantee? I said, I won't be an AWS solution architect if I told you that.
Love that.
So with absolutely right. So with the infrastructure, what we are talking about is everything that application needs to run at 99.9999. Obviously, we are aiming for 100%. Of course, we do.
Of course,
But we cannot not guarantee that. Nobody can. There will always be a power cut somewhere, or something that we can't account for.
Yeah.
But we will provide that infrastructure, as in the instances, the virtual servers, the load balancers, the security groups, and everything that service needs or that application to run. And we also, so as DevOps engineers, we are kind of the the glue that holds the different parts together of the company, because we are dealing with the solutions architects.
Yeah.
We're dealing with the developers that
Yeah,
are
developers, yeah.
that are
Writing
Building.
the application code,
writing the
yes.
application
Application.
code. Yes.
Right.
So we are bringing it all back together,
Yeah, they're the glue.
and we are
Engineers.
you know,
Engineer.
Yeah,
yes,
you are the engineers.
yes. So yes, we are going far and wide to piece together what different parts of the company have drafted up and merge it onto that infrastructure, and making sure that it runs flawlessly, almost flawlessly, but 99.999 flawlessly.
Yeah.
And we are also the people that try to automate that. So as a DevOps engineer, you're being tasked to automate all of that. So you don't want to be spinning up that same server in the same way every single time you want it to run. No, you want to write a code, or you want to write a script where somebody asks you to do exactly the same thing you did before, but without going through the A to the Z's, going through every single step again and again and again. No, you just write the script and send that script off.
And it's plug and play.
And plug and play, and all of that gets done for you with certain services that will provide that infrastructure for you. So
Infrastructure as code.
yes, absolutely.
Infrastructure
It's code. Yes, there's different tools that can provide that will do that for you, but you have to know the underlying knowledge is given to you on this platform that we're talking about.
I want to get into a bit of a dicey area here. So there's like this stereotype. I mean, in my walk of life as a consultant, as a business consultant and service delivery, I've met a range of different people, and I always find that tech teams are different. Tech gurus, you guys have a different vibe. You're very, I don't want to use the word closed, but it's very difficult to penetrate a tech team because one, there's a difference of the language and all of that kind of stuff, but your culture's very different. Transitioning in, for me, I can imagine would be quite intimidating because I've interacted with them before. And then I also want you to tell me, as a woman in tech, because I've seen lots of stuff about this drive to get women into technology and be adequately represented. As a woman in tech, how do you think the space has evolved to welcome more people like Blessing who want to join that journey?
It starts with, like you started with the internet, you started with, the baby footsteps of where we are now. And we've seen historically that it always gets drafted out or gets more interest by men. And it gets also thrown out to men. Historically, men are better at maths than women. That's the stereotype that they're trying to throw out. Yeah. Now, I was better at maths than... so that throws that one out. Yeah. So it is difficult to break through, but with the evolvement of technology and the widening of the net of opportunities, women are getting more and more interested. It's like car mechanics. It used to be a predominantly male field, right? Yeah. But you see more and more female car mechanics, and that's it. You need a front runner that breaks in that threshold, that goes into that industry and raises awareness and say and can then talk from experience and say, whatever your I don't even know how to put it into words. Your perception of this job is whatever they throw at you to say that it's not for you. Make that experience and see that person that has broken through that, and open your eyes to what it actually involves, and does what you thought is holding you back is not there anymore.
Not there.
So you need that vision. You need these people, these front runners to look up to. And it always takes one person.
I'm hearing subliminally
But
that's why she tutors.
Yeah.
That's why she.
Can I add to what she said though? What she said is very important.
Yeah.
And for example, at my workplace, there's more women than men.
No.
So what she said is true. It's not there no more compared to before.
Yeah.
Yes, at the beginning, it's always going to be men. I get that one.
Yeah.
But not anymore.
Wow.
It's not there no more. If you see, I was talking to a person earlier. I have daughters.
Yeah.
So my daughters, if they really wanted to, they could become AWS, but they're not really interested. They want to do other things.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you permit to say, but I feel females should not think they can't do it. I think that's the most biggest mistake ever. To think, oh well, it's just men. Don't know. If you're a female, you really want to go into AWS. Yeah, I think just probably a bit more than men. In my workplace, yeah. You have more opportunity.
More opportunity.
Yeah.
I tell you this because in my team we had about 10 engineers and we're 9 guys and 1 lady.
Yeah.
You get treated differently.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, because they look at us that we
positive discrimination.
Yeah, positive. Yeah, it's not in a negative way. So she's good as well with her job. And I keep on asking her, what made you to think about tech, AWS, and DevOps?
Yeah.
She said it was from her uncle, who was doing. Then it was called infrastructure engineer. Yeah. Now the new name is now DevOps.
Engineer.
So
infrastructure
engineer. So the uncle was the motivation behind her jumping on.
Yeah.
So she looked at the man working on a dark screen all the time. She said, "Uncle, what is this?" So she picked interest from there.
Yeah.
So there's always that something that triggers it.
Right.
So like the uncle that helped, that she saw that and she now held on to that till now. Yeah. And she's really good. Honestly, she's really
But Pascal, but I want to jump on what you said. I think as a woman, you can't look at it as,
it's a male dominated.
Yeah, or you can't, it's hard. It's the opposite. I think we need to get that out of the way now.
Yeah.
If you're a female, you can't think, I'm watching it today and say, but it's about, no. If you really want to get it, you have more opportunity as of 2025 than a man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my company, more females, they really push it.
That's fantastic.
If they're to hire, and it's positive discrimination.
Because in my, like I said, in my corporate experience, walking through different types of companies and sectors, I always see tech teams that are male heavily dominated. Yeah. And then you usually have the female project manager.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have female project managers who, and it was
who
like
looks
that.
after the boys.
Who looks after the boys. You know, mommy's taking care of the boys. But it's really interesting to hear that there are women who are thriving now and who are given that respect as an engineer, as a solutions architect.
Yeah, I have an enterprise solution architect. Enterprise which there is enterprise, yeah?
Is that like the biggest, highest level?
Yeah, that's the highest level.
That's the highest
level. She's a female.
She's a female.
Wow.
My goodness, yeah.
Wow.
So there's more females than men in my workplace.
So there are no barriers.
In fact, no, that's incorrect. There is a more opportunity as a female. I want to make this clear. Where's that camera?
Listen,
in 2025, than a man. I have 3 daughters. If they wanted to go, they could easily get to where I am in the space of 4 years if they really wanted to. Any female who's doing this. So I want that myth to be taken away.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. I love that.
So, no, you're absolutely right. So that the historical facts that I was going back on, that has been lifted. It's been lifted. It's been opened up so that we can level it out a little bit,
It's
so that people are
exciting.
getting the opportunities that they
level the playing
deserve.
field.
And yes, and like I said, we needed those front runners. We needed those people that can show us. One very good example. I don't know if any of you are watching snooker, and snooker. So I'm just talking about the refereeing of snookers.
Okay.
Right.
And it always used to be male, always. And there's one lady, 20 years ago, first female referee in snooker.
Okay, no.
First female, Michaela, she was called. And she was online, she was abused. She was, she went through hell.
Right.
Being the first female snooker referee. Again, we are going back to the first female football referees as well that got a lot of abuse, and who some people said, "Oh, can somebody explain to her what the offside rule is?"
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. It all starts with a front runner. It always starts with one person that breaks that boundary, that goes in because they want to make a difference. They want to make a change. And these front runners are the people that we as women in tech are looking up to. And these are the people that are showing us it can be done. And yes, it may be tough. You may have some people tell you, "Oh, what are you doing here?" But these perceptions are fast disappearing.
Thank you. That's why I'm coming from a completely different. I'm coming. That's what I'm saying. I'm working in a place where there's more women than women. So these kind of questions are abnormal to me at the moment. When should we encourage females to be in tech?
I'm not even going to lie to you, because there's lots of stuff out there encouraging and pushing for women to transition.
Of course. They're doing like bootcamps and all of
that. Targeting something. Okay, right. Because my experience of them is they are heavily male dominated, and we've just been allowed to just be project managers and whatever. But it's really refreshing, and I now understand why you choose to tutor and why you choose to be the face and the forefront of learning to encourage.
But I still want to go on that point. Let's not, because we still say allow. There's no restriction. It's not allowed. Literally, I want women to understand this, because they're still thinking, oh, let me try. No, you are encouraged. I got 3 daughters. I want if they're watching this as well, you're encouraged to do this. It's not allow or you be a project manager. No. If you want to become you have more opportunity than a man. I want women to understand it, because all they go, well, should I? I'm not sure. Maybe it might be. No, it's going to be easier than you, than your brother, your uncle. So I need women to understand that, because I tell my daughters as well, and they the same thing. Or they allow? No.
What's the ratio on your platform?
Quite. I think we've got like maybe 60-40.
60 being men and 40 being women?
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Because a lot of ladies have joined the platform and seeing other people that have gone through the platform as well, like ladies who have gone through it and secure a job. It's not like it's not doable anymore. And also that comes with, following that community, that you can see that things are happening and you can see for yourself. And Mel, being one of the instructors, she's been a big motivator to people as a DevOps engineer, and people thinking, how is she a DevOps engineer doing infrastructure as code and all of this? So, and she tries to encourage people, not just from the training perspective, also from the encouragement side of things, to say it's not that hard. It's just for you to put your head down, do what you need to do, and you'll be there. That's all. So, and she has been one of the best tutors that's been nominated. That's why she was here. So we said, okay, because we get feedback from students who that at the end of the class they give us feedback. So they
Fantastic.
gave a feedback about her and specifically the way she delivers her classes.
Oh.
Not like others are not good,
Yeah.
but there's something special about her. I tell you that.
Oh.
She shares her note that she even used to prepare for her classes to the students.
Wow.
So she goes and looks at the training materials because they're all online.
Yeah.
She makes her own note. So how to relate those information to people to a level that people will understand it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she'll make her own note. So she uses like analogy to relate conceptual things about the subject.
Okay.
Then she will now make her own note, like focusing on the deck, also focusing on her own note, and also sharing her own note so that people can have a look at it. And everybody have their own teaching style and every other thing. So that's why part of the reason why we are here.
And like we said before, it's focusing on the industry experience
as well,
and putting that out there and bringing real life examples as to how these services would fit in with what you're learning on the platform.
Cool. 100%.
So my last question for you then, Mel, what advice would you give to someone who is thinking about embarking on this journey and has zero tech experience, like proper analog? Because
like Blessing,
maybe? Proper analog person. Yes, now we are many.
There's one sitting right here.
Yeah. What advice?
Take her as your guinea pig.
What advice would you give?
My advice is you have to be determined, steadfast. You can't give up. It's something you have to work hard. This is for everyone, not just you. You're just sitting here, but this is for everyone that's embarking on this journey. Determination and hard work. Knowledge does not just fall into your lap. It is acquired. And there's different platforms out there that you can use to acquire that knowledge. The platform DGCL is offering is one. There are videos out there on YouTube that people can watch. And there's multiple sources that you can use to manifest the knowledge that you've learned in the lesson, coupled with the mentorship that it's given to you, coupled with the industry experience that we get from people like Mr. John, Pascal, myself. It's all tools that students utilize to get to where we are right now. But I have to say it, people are not going to do these exams for you. People are not going to sit there and answer the questions for you. They're not going to do the labs for you. You have to do it yourself. You get the support, but you have to be in it to win it.
I like that.
In it to win it.
In it to win it. I really like that. Thank you, Melanie.
Yeah.
We're going to move on to Blessing now because we're swiftly running out of time.
Yeah, we're running out of time. Yeah.
I just want to ask you 3 questions, Blessing, so we're not going to drill that much. But the first one is, tell me what motivated you to enroll onto the AWS Cloud Computing?
Like I said earlier, a friend introduced me to the academy.
Okay.
So, and I thought, I have a job at the moment. It's not a bad job, but it's not something I would want to do for a long time. So I kind of have a target for my job. I don't want to do it for more than 5 years because it's very stressful. So not that technical is not stressful, but I thought something that can give me maybe more, of life, more
Better
freedom.
work-life
Yeah,
balance.
better work-life balance, more flexibility, and more time for the family, and also something that can suit my lifestyle. So I thought maybe this would be a good
Working from
idea
abroad.
to train
Right?
and move. Yeah,
Oh,
so that's my great motivation.
I love that because they're all the things that I guess most people would want,
Of
right?
course.
Yeah.
And how's the academy supported you so far on your journey?
I think for me, it's been a great journey so far. There is very clear passion that you get from the academy. And I keep going to Pascal, I keep going to John. I feel like, and the mentors and all the workers that support students on the platform, people actually care. They want you to succeed. So you're not left on your own. You're not left to do it on your own.
Yeah.
A great example is I've had the great privilege of going to shadow both men here today. I've been to shadow
we put
Pascal.
that together, yes.
I've been to shadow John. I've had a lot of industry experience, advice, and expert advice from both of them. So it's just a great privilege. So that gave me like an idea. I've done a stand-up meeting with Pascal.
Yeah.
So it prepares you a lot. I do know that personally, I have a lot of work to put in.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. But I know the support is there for me, but I have to put in the work, and it's coming, but we get there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I told you it was going to be short and brief for you. I'm not going
Yeah.
to grill you. Thank you for coming to speak to us, all three. Wow. Sofa members. It's been a really nice interactive talk. I feel like I really understand platform, what you're doing, and I hope those who listen and watch this podcast will come away with that same feeling as well. Pascal, is there anything else you want to add before we round up?
No, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of us here today, making that time to join the podcast.
Yeah.
To you, Mel, Mr. John, Blessing, we've planned this since...
And yourself?
Yeah, thank you. Since January. And also, today seemed like a special day for the mothers.
Yeah.
Because today is the Mother's Day. So I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to each and every one of you
Thank you.
today. And also to my mom. She's home.
Waiting for you.
And my sisters, my missus, every other mothers out there, my aunties, wherever they are, Nigeria, UK, just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers today that we're recording this podcast. Made it like a special day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even realize that today is Mother's Day. And I felt really bad. I messaged you at some point. I said, Jumai, are we going to cancel this because of the Mother's Day? I don't want to interrupt the family life, people having... But it started from yesterday as well. We did the paintballing. It was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, so paintballing / this. And I just want to say thank you for you guys traveling to come here and, safe journey. And God bless each and every one of us. What we are doing is just to help the community, to make sure that people are not stuck in that lifestyle that they don't like. I, for example, was one of them, but I managed to get out of it. But I'm trying to also show people the way to get out of it. And it's just this. This one, DGCL, Digital Cloud Academy, AWS. That's all I do at the moment. And, so thank you. That's all I have to say for this time.
Thank you, everybody, for taking the time
Thank
to
you.
listen. Rewind, fast forward, pause. There's lots of stuff for you to bite and sink your teeth into in this podcast. And we hope to see you on the next session with DGCL.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Wow.